Meat City, baby.
Hello and welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Kicking Aces here in World of Tanks. And what a way to end Leopard week than with this video. This is my 24th battle in the tank. So it is early in my playtime with this vehicle. And as I told you in the last video introducing this tank, I really like it. It's so good. It's such a solid tier 10 tank, especially for one that's been around for so long. So in this battle, we are in a standard battle on Prokhorovka, and that fits this tank really well. Or it can, depending on the makeup of both your and the enemy team. And one of the things that goes really well for this battle right from the start is the limitation on light tanks on both teams. So that lets me play a scouting role, which this tank is really good at. So I'm trying to get myself into an early position here. I don't want to be too aggressive. It's easy to get deleted in this tank. It doesn't have much armor, and we know every time you play this map, there's going to be tanks camping down this line. Big tank destroyers, big guns, sitting at the back, waiting for something to get spotted, to get lit up, and then they are going to start firing at it as soon as it does. So I feel like I'm in a relatively safe position here. I saw the light tank on the enemy team go on the far side there, so I thought it was safe, but he actually came back closer. I took that shot, and for a second you could see my spotting distance ramp up past where the light tank was, and I got spotted, and that was a disaster. This could have been over very quickly. So I retreated, I got out of the way. Unfortunately, I ran into my own camping tank destroyer, or not camping, but sniping tank destroyer who was behind me in a bush, the Tyrann. Did not mean to do that, didn't know he was there, apologized for bumping into him, and we get reset. Our camo goes back up, nobody got damaged, we're okay, we reset there. That was a hasty shot. I was hoping to get some damage in, but it was ill-advised. So definitely an early mistake in this battle, which could have turned things very sour. Fortunately though, we got away with it, and we're back and we're set. And now we're creeping up, and here we go. We can see an object 257, a tier 9, what is that, a Russian heavy tank, I believe, deep down this line, and that's what I'm talking about. We know he's there, and he is not going to be alone. But that is what this tank is so good at. Look at the distance I have between my spotting distance and my getting spotted distance, my camo range. It's so good in this tank with a good crew, with camo, with the right setup. Remember, I have this tank set up strictly as a scout. I'm not improving the gun, I don't think at all. I'm putting things into increased view range. I have that camo net on it. I like to play this tank as kind of a modified light tank, a medium light tank. And this is when it pays off in battles like this. It's so good. If you get stuck on a city map, you're going to be regretting your choice, but not on a map like Prokhorovka. And that, oh my God, that is the perfect example of why I like to set this tank up the way it was. Look how close we got to those two tank destroyers, the FV4005, and what was the other one? I think it was an FV183, like the two big gun British tank destroyers, and we're not spotted. We can spot them and light them up for the tanks behind us. That's the other thing you need to have happen. You need to have support behind you, preferably some big guns and tank destroyers that are going to push up behind you, and then when you spot something, you can stay there, not shoot, and let your tanks do the damage and rack up that assistance damage. And we got so confident there, we were able to load some HE rounds because the FV4005 has such weak armor on its turret that we can go for a little bit of bonus damage with those rounds into the turret. So we get that kill, not by ourselves, but with an assist. And then look at this. How close am I to this tank? 280 meters from the FV215B183, and we're just behind a bush, and we take a shot. Yeah, we did get spotted. That was a little bit cheeky, but I thought this tank was going to go down here pretty quickly. And now we know he's on reload. We can put one more shot in and get that, again, another tank secured for a kill by the tanks supporting us. And just like that, we've now flushed this entire lane out. The last medium tank is running. We're going to pop up. It's a chisel, and whoa, I don't know how that bounced. I did do an auto aim, but man, the accuracy on this tank is so good. That was fully aimed. I had the rear of the tank. He wasn't going left or right. Straight shot. I don't know how that one bounced. That was a bit unfortunate, but no big deal. We can see now with that push, hey, no slouch in terms of damage. 1,500 early on in the battle here, less than 5 minutes into the battle. but 4,250 in terms of assistance damage. And I think almost all of that is spotting damage assistance that we put into all of those big tank destroyers and the heavies and everything else by pushing down that flank, but doing so in a way that we still have every single one of our hit points left, and now we can use them to kind of be a little bit more free, going for some added damage here to turn what is now a good game into a great game, and this is going to be a great game. So, T-57 heavy over the ridge, and I'm trying to play a little cat and mouse. The gun depression on this tank, you can see it's pretty good. We can get up over this little ridge, over the rail line, get the gun locked on. I'm trying to use third-person view with an auto aim so we know just how far we need to come up and no further, and we can also keep an eye on the tank's gun. If I was in first-person view, I would be looking up too high, and then I'd have to crest the ridge to get the gun down and see what's happening here. If we stay in third person and use the auto aim, we can just see when the gun snaps onto the target. Now, this time I saw his gun was completely to the side, so I did go up for that full aim into the lower plate to try and get some damage. And we take our first actual damage of the game. There is one tank left up on the ridge. It's like a Polish or a Czech heavy tank. I forget which one it is. We'll see it in a minute here. He's up on the ridge shooting down. And so we don't want to go all in here and be stupid. That T-57 heavy is an auto loader that can put out 1,800 damage in just a couple of seconds. There's a T-110E4. We know there's support up on the ridge. There's another heavy tank down there. So if we rush in, we could get eliminated very, very quickly. So instead, we're taking our time. We get the aim into the weak spot there on the T-57 heavy, and we secure our first kill of the game. And now we're up to 3,000 damage and over 5,000 spotting. And there it is. There's the TNH 105. Is it 1,000 or 100? Whatever it is, we did put a shot in. He backed down the ridge. And now with him down, with the T-57 down, we don't want to sit and be passive here. Again, I want a little bit more damage. I want to turn what is now a great game into a kicking aces game. And we can see there's a T-110E4 and a Sturm Tiger. And we're going to try and stay back. And I don't think we got spotted there. That looks pretty good. We have a little bit of bush cover between us and the Sturm Tiger down there. And he is turned just enough to give us the side of that tank, so we can just put shots in here. As he faces us, we go for kind of the front wheel or the lower plate. That one goes in as well. And these are all, I think, regular rounds for the entire battle. I don't think I've shot a single premium round yet. I believe I take 12 rounds and they're all there. I could be off on that. I may have fired one early on, but I think that's all of them. And so, boom, there goes the Sturm Tiger. We just missed the kill on that one. And I want this T-110E4. I had the rear of his tank there early and I missed it. And now I had the weak point there and that one bounced. And after that, I say, okay, let's load a premium round to try and go through that weak point with the added penetration. It doesn't work out. And my allies get the kill. And now there's 3 tanks left. And 2 of them are actually up here on the ridge. There's the SU. The SU, I didn't want that gun shooting in the back. So I turned to look at him and he gets taken out. And now here's this Carnarvon. And I will admit, in the entire video, I do have a bit of a sloppy ending to it here. We did an auto aim and it hit the ridge. The midpoint of that Carnarvon is just below the ridge, so that didn't go in. We hit him in the turret, that bounced. We tried to advance. I thought I was low enough that I could get around that. Boy, that Carnarvon was just chewing me up at the end of the battle, and I didn't want to throw my tank away and end this battle on a destruction and a complete loss. So here we're going to recollect ourselves for a minute. He's the only tank left. I'm thinking we can rush in, try and get one more shot. Maybe we get a kill, maybe we get one more damage. I prefer not to lose my tank here if I can help it, just to not be sloppy and careless at the end of the battle for the sake of one more damaging hit. I'd like to get it if I can. I thought, okay, now we'll go up and come around down over the top and shoot him in the back, assuming his gun was pointed the other way. Before we were able to finish the maneuver, our allies take out that tank. And there we go, an MVP performance in the Leopard one. We feel pretty good about that. 4,981 damage, basically 5K of direct damage. Feel pretty good about that. And that's a good looking XP number, 1,685. All of that, we know this is gonna be really close to an ace tanker for this tank, depending on where exactly the mark is. And I felt even better about that given the next screen when we get to see the full performance stats for our tank in this game. And taking a look at those stats, we can see along with our just shy of 5,000 direct damage, we had 5,500 in assistance damage. A 10K combined game. I don't know if I have ever had a 10K combined game before. I don't know if that's a stat that I could even look up. It'd have to probably be weird doing some weird math. I know you can get your highest damage and some of those stats, but I don't know if you can get your highest combined damage. This definitely is in the top echelon. Not that I can recall ever clearing 10K in terms of combined damage. And so again, feeling pretty good. If you can do 10K combined, maybe you can get an ace tanker. A lot of that damage was to tier 10s, right? We did some damage to the FV405, to the T57 Heavy. There were definitely some tier 10s that we were either shooting or spotting. And man, what an even balanced game. Just under 5K in direct damage, just over 5K in terms of assistance. That is the Leopard 1. So let's take a look now. And we can see even running a premium account there, firing a couple premium rounds, still made over 50,000 credits profit. So big moment. Let's take a look at the medals and see if we were successful in securing that ace tanker. And yes, we were. An ace tanker in just under 25 games for this tier 10 tank. All complete players on the enemy team. No bots, no shenanigans. This was just a well-fought, well-played game that really relies on all of the strengths of the Leopard 1. Even though I made a mistake early by getting spotted, we were able to recover. And I made a mistake late getting chewed up by the Carnarvon. Still, the tank did what it does, and it does it so well. So, an ace tanker to go on that amazing over 10K combined damage. We had a sharpshooter medal to go along with it, a bruiser medal, a spotter medal, of course, for all of that spotting damage, fire for effect, and a sniper. And all of those together, a nice collection of medals to support that ace tanker. Taking a look at the team stats, we can first of all give a big shout out to the Chieftain Mark 6, my crypto father, a cool username, who put up 3 kills and highest damage total in the entire battle, 6,469. Very nice. And on top of that, another 2,800 assistance damage. So they were just under 10K combined. We were just over 10K combined. 2 tanks really, really helping to push the team to victory. But just a solid battle, almost top to bottom, right? We had a ton of help with the tanks that followed us in there and shot the tanks that we were lighting up, right? I even was communicating to my team when I was pushing. I said, I'm going in, cover me. They were acknowledging it. This was a really great battle. Individually for myself, it highlighted the strengths of the tank. We had good team support. We had a good structure from the tanks in the beginning of the battle with only the 1 light tank, which let us be a little bit more aggressive as a scout. All in all, that is this tank. Is every game like this? No, you need some of this setup to happen, but the potential is always there for a game like this when you have such a capable tank behind the controls, such as the Leopard 1. So I love this tank. It is my go-to tier 10 if I'm trying to do anything other than direct damage, right? The Bat Chat is still the king of that for me. You can swoop in, you can assassinate, you can escape, right? That's a dynamic, fun, direct damage type of gameplay. But if you want to play the support role, the Leopard 1 is my go-to, especially with the setup as I have it, as that heavy-duty active scout. So that is an ace tanker in the Leopard 1, and I think that really wraps up Leopard month very nicely. We started with the Leopard prototype, the tier 9. We showed some of that tank's strengths. We showed an ace tanker in that game. We showed the beginning of the Leopard 1, our first game, and then the second game in that tank, 1 bad one and 1 good one, and then also the top of the hill, what this tank can really do when everything goes well in a battle to earn an ace tanker. So that is going to wrap up the video. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.